Hello everyone, welcome to Blink Feed. Today we are delving into the topic that has left an indelible mark on the pages of history, colonialism. To begin our journey, let's understand what colonialism is. Colonialism is defined as control by one power over a dependent area or people. It occurs when one nation subjugates another, conquering its population and exploiting it, often while forcing its own language and cultural values upon its people. Colonial powers, driven by economic motives, sought to extract resources, establish trade routes, and expand their influence across the globe. This process significantly shaped the course of history, leaving a lasting impact on the cultures, economies, and political structures of the colonized regions. To truly grasp the essence of colonialism, we need to delve into its historical context. The age of exploration in the 15th to 17th centuries laid the foundation for this phenomena. European powers like Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands embarked on ambitious journeys to discover new lands and establish trade routes. These voyages were driven by the desire for wealth, glory, and the spread of Christianity. As explorers sailed into unknown territories, they encountered indigenous peoples and established the groundwork for what would become the era of colonialism. There were two great waves of colonialism in recorded history. The first wave began in the 15th century. During Europe's age of discovery, during this time, European countries such as Britain, Spain, France, and Portugal colonized lands across North and South America. The second wave of colonial expansion began during the 19th century, centering around the African continent. In what is called the Scramble for Africa, European nations such as Britain, France, Portugal, and Spain sliced up the continent like a pie, creating arbitrary borders and boundaries and claiming large swaths of land for themselves. Now let's explore the beginning of colonialism in early 15th century. Beginning in the 15th century, Portugal began looking for new trade routes and searching for civilization outside of Europe. In 1415, Portuguese explorers conquered Ceuta, a coastal town in North Africa, kicking off an empire that would last until 1999. Soon, the Portuguese had conquered and populated islands like Madeira and Cape Verde, and their rival nation, Spain, decided to try exploration too. In 1492, Christopher Columbus began looking for a western route to India and China. Instead, he landed in the Bahamas, kicking off the Spanish Empire. The rest of Western Europe swiftly followed. England, the Netherlands, France, and Germany quickly began their own empire building overseas, fighting Spain and Portugal for the right to lands they had already colonized. How colonialism shaped the world. It may be easy to brush colonialism off as a relic of the past, but we are all living in a world shaped by these histories of brutal and violent conquest. The wealth and prosperity of what were once the most powerful colonial nations in the world can be attributed to the theft of land, resources, and people from former colonies. Pros and cons of colonialism. The impact of colonialism is a complex and debated topic with both positive and negative aspects. It's important to note that the following discussion does not seek to justify or romanticize colonialism, but rather to provide a nuanced understanding of the various perspectives on its effects. Here are some pros and cons of colonialism. Infrastructure development. Colonial powers often built infrastructure such as roads, railways, and ports, which in some cases laid the groundwork for future economic development. Introduction of modern technologies. Colonized regions were exposed to new technologies, including advancement in medicine, education, and industry. Cultural exchange. Colonial encounters facilitated cultural exchange, leading to the blending of traditions, languages, and artistic influences. Globalization of trade. Colonialism played a role in the globalization of trade by establishing new routes and connections between different parts of the world. Now, moving to the cons of colonization. Exploitation and economic drain. Colonized regions were often economically exploited for the benefit of the colonial powers, leading to the wealth extraction and economic disparity. Cultural and identity erosion. The imposition of European cultures, languages, and religions often led to erosion of indigenous cultures and identities, social injustices, and discriminations. Colonial powers often implemented discriminatory social and legal systems, leading to social hierarchies and inequality. Conflict and violence. Colonialism often involved military conquests and violence, resulting in widespread suffering and loss of life among indigenous populations. The impact of colonialism is deeply rooted in history, and its consequences continue to shape the world today. Recognizing both the positive and negative aspects is essential for a comprehensive understanding of the complexities involved. Subsequent videos in this series would explain in detail colonial history for each country.